All right, I think I'm live. Good morning, everyone. As Wonder usually this late. Yeah, I don't start on the dot. Maybe this is a Twitch thing, but I usually give people some time to kind of file in. Uh, I don't actually know if that's a good idea or not, but in this case, I had to go, kiss my wife good morning. So, hey everyone, how you guys doing? Ooh, On Death saves 5% of the resources for use in the next session. That's absurdly good. You're not going to be able to snowball with that necessarily, but holy smokes, that's good. We also have a jump in place. Allows you to jump in place. Here it is. We can jump in place, and then whenever we land from a jump, shockwave radiates from it. All right, those sound pretty good. Let's see. You make it sound like such a burden. What? Kissing my wife good morning? Sorry. It shouldn't be. It definitely isn't. They still haven't fixed the tooltip on this. So, I will admit, I had a lot of people mad at me because my first video on this was pretty bug-free, and apparently this DLC is not the most bug-free thing. Did you reset all the upgrades? No. No, I ain't starting fresh. That sounds like a giant pain. But yeah, I've had no problems with bugs so far. At least not on this one. And I'm hoping it stays that way, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh, right. We just start on a freaking mine. That's great. So, yeah, welcome to the Wall World Deep Threat. If you guys haven't somehow missed my coverage, missed my video on it yesterday, or previous coverage of this game, Wall World's Deep Threat is the new expansion. Adds about supposedly 8 hours to Wall World. It might be a little bit more than that when it comes down to it. Let's just pick this up. I want to go to the deepest parts first and go from there. Let's see. I was really hoping the seismic generator would get more range, considering some of these suckers are huge. Wait, it did. It did get some more range, just not huge amounts. But yeah, so like 8 more hours of content, a lot more meta progression, which I'm very excited for because some of them seem really cool. Armored Claws level 3. And there's also a lot of meta progression that I specifically hadn't collected last time that I guess we're going to get the chance to finally collect and use. Being able to just almost insta-clear a base cave is so nice. Just being able to, I mean, let the missile and the seismic generator pretty much just handle everything for me. Okay, let's just grab it all. I wonder if we get more vac pack upgrades too. Yeah, let's just put this away so I'm not messing with it. Okay, it's the umbrella again. I don't think I'm going to go for it if I can. Yeah, seismic range went from 25 to 30. Yeah, it was mostly the cooldown reduction. That's the big one for me. Making it so it's every 2 seconds is absurd. Especially if we get another one. I don't know if there's going to be another upgrade, but if there is one, oh boy. We are going to do some hefty digging really fast. Alright. I'm going to just try and sit out. I guess I'm not going to try and sit here. You know what? Expedition log day 572. The sick are dying in agony, and our warning came too late. There's an epidemic in the hives. Only 30% of the residents are immune. That's a bit topical. Alright, so we're just going to take a smidge of damage. My logic is, I figured I could just pop in there, grab whatever. Oh, right, I could have just, I could have actually just jumped over that lad. Whatever, it's fine. But yeah, how are you this morning? I more or less, well, I didn't just wake up, I just got up, so I'm a little slow, I'm a little sleepy. But that's fine. Shell's still in bed, just hanging out, kind of groggy. So I'm being a little bit more ASMR Wanderbot compared to, you know, some of my more energetic commentary. Hey, blueprint. What's this one? Armor Claws, level 4. Wow, we're just going to get every blueprint for that. And no real-life inspiration for that at all. Only 30% of the population was completely immune. Even then, though, that would probably result in pretty schnasty human rights violations, so probably not the best. So confusion, what is the lore of this game? Kind of unclear. Effectively, people live on a vertical wall world rather than like a regular planet. Supposedly, according to some of the characters, it used to be horizontal, but I'm not entirely sure of that. There are spaceships crashed in the wall outside that you can see in the second tier. And I'm almost wondering if it's a... Got the overdrive. I'm wondering if it's one of those where the previous world they were on was horizontal, but I'm not entirely sure. One of you ever played Overlord? I have not. At some point. I don't go back and play a whole lot of old games that often, mainly just because I don't have the leeway to do so. I'm doing so a little bit with like Lobotomy Corporation right now, but even then, you know, I have this game and like a bunch of other games kind of demanding my time as well. And the way the YouTube algorithm works is just like, hey, you could be streaming this old cool game, or you could be playing these new cool games that people really want to watch. And there's only so much I can do with the older games. I was kind of hoping I could do like a review series where I do like, you know, a well thought out and high effort review video. It's kind of a buzzsaw drone. I like drones. But, you know, well thought out review series as kind of a way of going back and playing some older games. Is there even anybody left? There's these guys, and then there's this lad. I was hoping the missile would take him out, but I guess not. He'll die shortly. Either to my gun or my missile. There he goes. Unless you really focus on older games, the algorithm punishes you for it. And even then, I don't know of a whole lot of channels that do older games. And maybe I just don't run in those circles. But from my perspective, I'm pretty good about knowing who a lot of channels are. Ooh. Force cartridge, machine gun fire rate. But actually, that must mean we're starting to run out of blueprints here. Still, machine gun fire rate is pretty good. But yeah, I'd like to try and do reviews at least, because I could see those having a little bit more staying power as far as like older game coverage, and might be one of those where like they might also like rack up views slowly over X number of years. Whereas like a lot of my content for the most part is, I hate using that word. You might hear a lot of creative people saying like really hate the word content, and I'm inclined to agree with them. Right, there we go. Let's see. It's an uphill battle for YouTube to do older games. And when YouTube is already an uphill battle, don't recommend. Yup, we made it abundantly clear to you that you can't come here. That guy's just kind of chilling, and I say no. Let's see. I know a few times when I asked, you mentioned wanting to do Citizen Sleeper. Considering it next stream series after Lobotomy Corporation, it's going to be a vote. Oh, you know what I should do? I should probably actually upgrade my beam as much as I possibly can. There we go, that'll make kind of a difference. I don't know if we want that much range. Maybe. I don't know. Right. Okay, it's a large mine, one anomaly, a lot of resources. I'm going to come back to this one. That is by and far the hardest material, and I'd rather hit all of these smaller mines first. Let's see, there we go. I'd be interested in seeing the numbers on older games get better residual views over other things. So I will probably be posting some more numbers on my blog if you read the posts that I share. I won't be doing it anytime soon exactly, but I've got one more or less almost done, talking about like why some creators only cover certain genres, and why you're unlikely to see like me cover a pure platformer most of the time. Okay, I want to try It does do a bunch of damage. Alright, let's just pop in here and see what happens. Okay, is non-DLC Wall World. Is the third Leviathan possible to beat? It is not. That is very much a you ran out of time moment from what I remember. It's... Unless they've changed it, and they could have, but from what I remember, if that triggers, you've just run out of time, you'll have to try again. Okay. Yeah, so we're starting to get the upgrade ships rather than the blueprints, which is nice, but I was hoping I could get at least a couple more, like, seismic generator missile upgrades. But I'm sure it's just one of those that I've, let's see, I've just got to play in the higher tiers to get those blueprints. Let's put this over here. We want to grab everything we can. Oh, these caves are so easy to clear now. It's so nice. Let's see. Resource radar. Every 10 seconds, pulse that highlights resources in a small radius. Well, that's nice. But yeah, so I'll be sharing some of my analytics on like why certain genres don't work and trying to kind of analyze certain failures. Oops. Because I get a lot of developers reaching out to me to cover like their... what's a good example? I get a lot of offers to cover things like, I mean, Raid Shadow Legends and like World of Warships. And nothing strictly against those games, but I'm pretty sure they would not perform particularly well on my channel, so they're not even like really worth my consideration. Like maybe Raid could be one of those where my audience, you guys could potentially enjoy it. Oh, huh. There's some layering issues there. Oh well. But even then, like, the stigma around that game ends just kind of its heartless monetization. Heartless? It's shameless monetization. I feel like is not exactly the vibe I'm trying to promote on this channel. Ooh, we are taking some damage. No, wrong one. Okay, there we go. There we go. Got him. It's pretty fun, but I won't touch raid with a 10-foot pole. I was talking to, oh, what was his name? Mtashed a while back, and he was actually talking about it being kind of fun and the kind of game that he likes. And so it's like, I don't necessarily want to say that his endorsement is like a full sell for me, but it's kind of one of those where it's just like, I mean, it's got to be at least somewhat decent to have that many players and that much money to advertise it. It's kind of like, I mean, once again, World of Warships or like League of Legends and stuff, but it's also one of those where it's very possibly just never going to be the kind of game that I would enjoy. And again, ethical and kind of promotional purposes. The other thing is, for the most part, I'm trying to highlight either two types of games. Ones that I think need more promotion, that, you know, don't have much of a marketing budget, and then also games that I truly believe in. It's a little harder with games like, well, Raid or even World of Warships, because frankly, they don't need the help. And that's not, as such, that's kind of not really the vibe I'm trying to go for when I'm covering something. Hey, got all the drones. Unless there's more. There are a lot of gacha games that have a lot of money, which is why, for the most part, I don't touch a lot of gacha games either. I will be playing Limbus Corporation and... No, I think it's too late now. There was something from the... God, what was the game? Whoever the developers of Honkai Star Rail, they'd reached out to do like maybe a video, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe that one. Just because, for me, a lot of gotchas and whatnot replace actual good game design with addiction management. Okay, do we actually have anything? Oh, there is still an anomaly in there. Is there? No. I think it's one of those where it doesn't properly... It doesn't properly forget. Mihoyo. Yeah, there we go. I had enjoyed, oh, what was it? Genshin Impact. I had enjoyed the, like, initial launch version of that. And at some point, maybe I will actually, like, play it just for a little bit. You know, try and finish off whatever the story is. Because, like, I heard good things. But it's one of those where it's just, like, gacha games and all of those kind of live servicey games. You're not meant to make a whole lot of progress. And from my perspective, that is almost, like, inherently disqualifying. Like a roguelike I'm meant to play over and over and over again forever. But I'm also allowed to quit whenever I want. With a lot of, like, a story-based game that has gacha mechanics, you kind of, if you ever want to finish it, you have to play a lot. But if, kind of in turn, you also have to invest a lot of money, that's a little tougher for me, most of the time. And don't forget the mine below you. Mihoyo reached out to you? Supposedly they did. Though the thing is, I think they reached out to me, but the response was really weird. Like, I more or less laid out exactly what I would do for them. And then they kind of, like, asked for a clarification where I just repeated myself. It was just like, are you really going to do a 45-minute video? And I'm like, yes, that's what I do. And then they just haven't responded yet. So it's kind of one of those where it could have actually been a phishing scammer. Those are not uncommon. It's also way easier for a foreign company to have a phishing scammer pretending to be them. If only because, you know, it's a lot harder for me to verify emails and whatnot. And so it could have actually just been somebody else, and, you know, no skin off my back. I've got so many games to record every single day. You know, part of the reason why I'm doing this stream early is because I've got a sponsorship that I'm putting out this afternoon, and I did not want my stream VOD to bury it. Or I guess just my stream in general to bury it. Because that would have felt bad. Because it's a game I actually really adore. Or at least really enjoy. I don't know. For me, the difference between adoration and enjoyment, it's a thin wall. I really like indie games and roguelikes, and so it's just kind of one of those where it's like, indie roguelikes, man. Easiest way to just, like, instantly get me interested. Especially if it's a good one. Okay. So I should have enough resources, hopefully, to go punch into the much harder cave. Still going kind of slow, as the one downer here. Okay, there's something above me. Nope, it's gone. I think the other problem I have with a lot of gacha games is they're inherently single player. And it feels like, I don't know, it feels like live service games, I kind of need another player to interact with to really get fully sucked in. So, like, for me, I've dumped a lot of money on Guild Wars 2 over the years. One, because I actually really like Guild Wars just as a series, and I don't feel weird about financially supporting them, nor do I feel particularly exploited by their monetization systems. They definitely do have some bits that it's just like, I don't like those loot boxes, but whatever. I can, for the most part, get everything that I could possibly want anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. I didn't actually finish that last cave. Did I not? I'm not sure how much I care, is the answer. I'm here trying to get as many resources as I possibly can. And as much meta progression as I possibly can. And then I'm going to bail. So here, I don't think I'm going to go much more than this. As soon as this tether runs out, I'm probably leaving this cave. It's going to have another weapon for me. but I don't actually care for more weapons. They're not helpful. That chem launcher is by and far the best available weapon I found in this game. Oh, it was an orb. The thing is, I've already got my drones, so it's a little easier for me to say whatever. I guess we could go back for it. I don't remember leaving it behind, but I'm also, like, super distracted. Just thinking about gacha games and live service models. All those kind of predatory things that I, like I said, generally don't truck with just because it's why. You know, these are generally games that exist to try and make you part with as much money as possible. Okay. Breaker generator. Oh, it's the portable seismic generator. That goop hurts, man. Oh, right. I was going to swap to the fun gun. There we go. Yeah, it didn't take too much. No. If I upgraded my weapons, I don't upgrade the machine gun that often. Okay, let's grab that. Can't do any other upgrades there. I could go for more. We'll get one of the range upgrades. Okay, so what else we have? We've got overdrive, we've got the saw blades, we've got the resource detector, area of effects, triggers more often, longer highlight. I like those, but not now. What I want to do is put most of my resources into making this as good as possible. That's a shield. Nah. So reduce spread, shots in a burst, reload speed. Okay. So those are now pretty good. I don't think I'm going to go for the shield generator this time around. Oh. Interesting. Radar highlights objects in different colors. Useful, but I think I'm going to upgrade my saw blade drone first. Okay, there we go. Anything else to grab? We could invest a little bit into the overdrive system. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay. Movement speed. I'm about as kitted out as I'm going to get in this tier. So I think I'm going to go in and grab a couple of things. And then go from there. So, Wander, any plans on playing Baldur's Gate? So I've actually just been playing that on my own. I have like 20-30 hours in it, and I cannot imagine trying to do a full stream of it. It might be one of those at some point that Shell and I sit down to do a playthrough of it. As like a members only thing. Is the only way I can think of doing it specifically. Because that is going to be like 100 hours plus of gameplay. Very slow. And complete SEO, like, antithetical to SEO. Okay. I said I was going to go until I ran out of tether, and that's the limits. I know there's like a weapon or an item at the end of this, but ain't worth my time. Or effort or energy. We're just going to grab all these resources and then bail. If I can. I don't know if I have enough time. Yeah, Wholesome vs. Baldur's Gate sounds fun. Also an option. So once again, the big issue that I have with so many of these things isn't that the game is not fun or anything like that. It's purely time. And so for me, I would love to do a Wholesome vs. Baldur's Gate. Maybe. I could see there being some issues with that though. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I love the jump. Here, let's get rid of this globby boy. Perfect. Alright. Ooh, I took a lot of damage from something there. Okay, we just didn't feel like jumping that one. I have no answers on that. His range got further. Oh, ow. Unfortunately, the jump in place has a much longer cooldown than my other ones, so I can't use it super reliably here. It seems like they actually made the boss honestly harder. But that jump is so freaking cool, man. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Ow. Oh, damn. Oh, that's gonna make this next part kind of tough. It's changed a bit since I last played. So this is the DLC. So yeah, there's some pretty major changes that were added. More meta progression, new variants on the boss fight. Or new variants, new versions of the boss fight, because it's just harder. Okay, do we have anything else in here? We have these, but I just really don't want to punch through this. It's going to take forever, and I've got better things to do. Yeah, 42 hours in, and I just got out of the shadow area. That's a little tough for me. Like, I don't know how many grounded streams we've had, but like, my friends and I have been playing Grounded for pretty much the entire summer, as like a series. Oh, my shields came back. Well, that's useful. Okay, I got that one. I'm trying to remember which of these I, quote-unquote, have not completed. It says this still has an anomaly. We have a little bit of time, so I'm just going to go in. Hey, Wanderer playing the DLC? Yup. Let's see. But so for how long my friends and I have been playing Grounded, we aren't even close to the end. Okay, we already got the weapon here. I think it's lying about there being an anomaly. It was the last cave. The scanner is saying that there's one here, so I'm just like, maybe there's a thing, but no, doesn't look like it. But, so for frame of reference, for how much we've been playing Grounded, you know, 3-4 hours every week for the better part of a summer, and I don't think we would have cleared Act 1 of Baldur's Gate at this pace. And also just, Baldur's Gate is the kind of game that I could see having some ethical disputes or other things. So like, from my own personal perspective, the romance elements of Baldur's Gate aren't interesting and not something I really want to see or even, like, be party to. And I could see that being really weird and hard to work with in multiplayer. And so, like, when Shell and I play, we will probably have our characters that we play as romance each other, because why not? But that's it. Bell says romance is gross. Yeah, I did leave this year. Yeah, I must have just been rushing back. Anomaly might be a cave, so the sensor might pick up stuff you've already received. I guess I could see that. Okay, docking station. Spider produces a portable induction booster, increasing movement speed in the mine and drilling efficiency in its range. I don't really care for that one either, to be honest. Okay, and it looks like we're going into the bad place. Let's top off. Top off a bit more than that, but I think it'll be good. I've got all sorts of jumps. The main problem is the chem launcher makes it a lot harder to dodge this sucker. Okay, I'll tell you the same thing I told you 20 years ago. Turn back or die. 20 years ago, I stained my diapers. It's your turn. Jumped too late. Actually, I can just keep aiming up. Or die. Damn. Did they increase the difficulty? They must have. He definitely was not that punchy the last time. I did read on some of the reviews that it does feel like he's kind of overtuned, and I think I might agree with that one. It does feel like all of the numbers got a lot bigger between yesterday and today. Like, if you saw my previous coverage of this DLC, the video that I put out yesterday, like, he hurt really bad, but not that bad. Like, we might honestly have to go down a difficulty level for a little while if he's going to be able to one-shot me. I'm up for playing a challenge, but I'm not big on being one-shot or, like, burning all of my resources because getting clipped almost kills you. Okay, well, that's an easy first cavern. I think the problem, I don't know, I think there's always a lot of problems with, like, balancing in DLC on this one. I did kind of talk about that a little bit. It felt like it was in a better place yesterday, though. Yeah, did they buff the guy in the spider? They must have. Either that, or we're actually glitched on a harder difficulty. I mean, here, let's, oh. We are on the lowest difficulty. That ain't a good sign. I mean, this does mean I'm going to be getting a lot of meta progression, but, oh boy, if I can't get past the first boss, that's going to cause issues for me. Expedition log, day 655. Started transporting megaspheres from the Ark. When we're done, we'll send an engineering team to set up cordons to protect against the Outers. We don't need a second epidemic. Oh, okay. So what happened was, they had that plague. What they probably did was they exiled everybody that was not immune. Yeah, I thought they had added, like, an easier difficulty, but no, they added harder ones. Oh boy. Like, I don't mind the tentacle sweep having, like, a bigger AoE, but this does mean I don't think I'm going to be able to use the chem launcher. I love it as a weapon, it's incredibly fun. But it is also extremely risky because I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing. And if I can't see what I'm doing and the enemy is going to be able to one-shot me with a laser, I need to effectively perfect dodge that every time. Dude, there's no shame in running away. What, from the first boss fight? You literally cannot, actually. He locks you in there. Like, there is no way to avoid that fight. The only way I could run away is if I literally just stopped playing and came back to this in a couple of days, which is not the worst thing to do. Like, I do know Alawar games tend to be kind of rough around launch. Wallworld was kind of lucky because they had let the demo kind of refine the first 20 minutes over and over again, so it wasn't one of those where it felt too bad. Shockwave Resonator. Bigger AoE. I like it. Let's see. That should be everything that I need from this one. What was I going to say? Like, I remember Necrosmith was almost impossible as its launch version. In fact, I would actually even argue it was impossible with its launch version. Yeah, whole game, because this may be too hard for you. I mean, I could probably get through it with gusto and perfect dodging and stuff. Like, I don't think it's too hard for me so much as I think it might be so challenging it's not worth the time. I'm here and I'm committed, but if it does seem allergic to progress, then I'll just take it as a sign, leave it, and then come back in a couple of days. Because the nice thing is, Alawar is very good at overhauling their game at an incredibly fast rate. And so I think this was an overcorrection because people were progressing too fast. And I think they have normal mode mixed with hard mode. And they're just visually interfering with each other. It's possible, yeah, that they had actually goofed and, like, combined the two or mixed up the numbers from one or the other. Like, it could even be one of those, like, weird Stack Overflow-y things where, turns out we're actually on insane mode because reasons. Okay. Let's grab a couple of these. Oh no, I'll have to sit through 100 cycles of quarantine because of you. Bummer. Yeah, so as far as I can tell, the people from the Hive versus the Outers... You know what? Maybe the Outers are always there. I don't know. But one way or another, it seems like the remaining people of the Hive are immune to whatever the disease is. Or they're trying to perma-quarantine. Or they think that the Outers are the ones who gave them the disease originally. Hence this kind of weird xenophobic isolation. Violent xenophobic isolation. I don't know. Why don't you try a different difficulty next time you restart? Well, I can change the difficulty dynamically. And so I was hoping by switching it back to normal, it would do the trick. We won't know until the boss shows up, is the real answer. No longer fire a missile into the small rooms. Oh, I didn't notice that stopped. That was funny. Just blasting myself with a missile. See if we get a better weapon this time around. Focused machine gun. It's worth it. I'm a little sad that we've run out of blueprints to grab. So I was really hoping I could get just a couple more. Okay, let's just go with that. We don't have... Let's see. Oh. Dang. It made a visual as though I might have collected it, so I was like, yes. And just immediately go back out, and the answer is no. I almost kind of wish I could huck resources in. You know, a reverse for my backpack. So, you know, take a whole load of resources and then just upchuck them in a direction. That'd be kind of nice to be able to shoot over walls and whatnot as well. I think unless you get a higher wall, you're stuck with a locust gun and chem bomb. Yep. Yeah, those are the only two that I've ever seen show up on this tier. Oh. I think I'm gonna have to go with this, but I will say I do actually like the machine gun with the new upgrades. Those have been pretty good. Let's grab the split beam, extra resources, and movement speed. And then let's invest in making my gun this gun not garbage. Because yeah, those homing shots are actually incredibly good. I don't know how much damage they do in comparison to the Locust gun, but I'm not going to be able to upgrade the Locust gun more than a smidge. Okay. There we go. Do we want to... No, we cleared that cave. We still have the really dense cave, but I kind of don't want to go in there. Okay, medium. I mean, we pretty much know the brick-looking one is the only hard... or the only large cave in this entire, like, first region. Okay. Hey, we did get a blueprint. I thought we'd run out of those. Rocket launcher level 5 fires a Godslayer missile. Oh. That sounds like that's going to help a lot. I don't know about you, but if this thing doesn't just absolutely wreck shop on the first boss, I'm going to be kind of sad. It's not going to. Like, Godslayer missile sets up some expectations that either it's an EDF game and it truly, like, it truly does live up to its name, or it's any other game and it's just okay. I don't think there's any other way around that. Did I upgrade my mech shield? I think I did. Like, I feel like Godslayer missile is... Oh, I know exactly what it would do in EDF. It would specifically, it would do... Like, it would hit the whole map for insane amounts of damage and insta-kill anything and everything there. And, like, a really pretty cinematic explosion that is not survivable by regular players. And you have to have, like, a separate player with a separate device to even survive it. You literally put down, like, a null time shelter or something, and it blocks... Let's see, and it, like, blocks anything from happening to you or something like that. Like, that would be the only way that would work, and that would be really cool. Alright, we can upgrade my machine gun some more. Yeah, the one problem with this gun, not very good against those guys. Oh well. Yeah, or it's God Eater, and it's all of those. It's just a classification for everything. That's fair, but also God Eater. At some point, I should go back and actually play through those games. I don't know. I never jive with them. The third game having the kind of, like, weird younger sister / like, adopted daughter dynamic felt really strange. Like, maybe now that I'm older I can accept it, but I usually find any character calling me, like, master or daddy adoringly is just weird. It's weird. It's very weird. And then I usually get somebody telling me that I'm, like, overly sensitive. And I'm sure if I saw other things they were saying online, I would be very disinclined in listening to them. It was a long time ago. There was a game called Zanky Zero that I did a video for. And the Western version is censored, so you can't see the younger girl character's underwear. And I was just like, yeah, that's good. And I had, like, a lot of people with weird anime profile pictures trying to argue with me for why that kind of censorship was, like, the worst thing ever to happen to gaming. And I'm just like, nope. I am pretty sure that I don't need to see some characters' underwear. That's the line that I'm pretty cool with never crossing, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to shout me down from that one. Girlfriend is forbidden from calling me daddy in all circumstances. It'd just be a little weird. Like, even if it's, like, in jest or fun, or, trying to be sultry, it's just a little weird. Belle doesn't like the word babe. What about beb? Belle doesn't even like beb. Alright, let's do a quick hop this time. I guess I should have used the charge capacitor. Yeah, Japan is strange in a lot of ways. I mean, I don't think it's just Japan. I think there's just a lot of weird people. And where did the daddy thing even come from? I don't want to even try and disambiguate that. Like, it feels like no matter what, that is depths of darkness kind of, that's a depths of darkness kind of inquisition, and I would be mentally less healthy by engaging in it, so I'd rather just not. My assumption is, once again, piss poor parental figures, and that kind of, you know, people's reaction to that kind of thing, being used and kind of fetishized in like a really bad way, and then appealing to a specific subset of people that sort of thing is interesting to. But boy, I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I should have not engaged on it too much, but I don't know, man. Like, I try not to judge people for their kinks, but after a certain point, I start being like, I don't know about that one. Okay, did I get every cave? Gosh, I hope I did. Okay. I have enough. We should get the 2 combat upgrades before I get the rotation. I can't repair as much. Did we get everything here? Because I think we saw the cloud wall. I think it's up here. I must have missed a cave or something. Well, time to fight the dude before the first boss. For the sake of your own miserable settlement, you'll have to be eliminated. Only a villain would say that. Okay. And unfortunately, it just shoots my missile out of the sky, which kind of sucks. Okay, so that doesn't actually hurt me. Oh, but that does. Okay. That's sucks. Don't get hit by the missile salvo. Yeah, so he's pretty much still set up to do a one shot on me. At least the missile has like a really obvious tell once you know what you're doing and have the jump. It just feels like I am going to get slam-a-jammed by it. Alright. Missile time. Ow. Okay, as long as he doesn't snipe me from afar with a laser, we are good. He always does the shield beforehand. Okay. Laser. Come on. A little bit more speed on my spider would help, but I don't think we can do it. Let's see. I could invest in that. Repairs. I think I'm just... Oh, I can't even afford that. Shoot. I guess I'll put one into the combat capacitor. We should be able to get just enough resources that I can... I want to get that 15 seconds dodge. So you do have the ability to slow down time. The chronosphere, but that's only when my durability drops low enough. I don't think that's actually that good for me. Fine. At least I think I have a good shot at dealing with him. I think I will have to try the Locust Rifle instead of investing in into the regular machine gun. I like the homing on the regular machine gun, but it just feels like it doesn't do that much damage. I'm gonna try a different difficulty. I'm on the lowest. Like, we could set it to insane or hard or something. I mean, here. Why don't we check the Steam forum, see if anybody else has talked about this. Yeah, people are just saying it's very hard on normal difficulty. So, I think I'm just lightly out of luck. I didn't watch your Wall World video yesterday, so I don't know how much it's updated. It's... The first boss was not nearly that punishing. It feels like now that I know his patterns a little bit better, it's not too bad. The upgrade shields and HP, leave it at default. I can't. Point to me on the mech screen where the upgrades for shields and HP are. I've maxed out, as far as I know, my shield generator and mech HP. In the meta progression, and there are no mid-run upgrades. I can get more upgrades that increase my repairs, but that's it. Okay. Yeah, are we on normal or hard? We're on Japanese normal, I think. Yeah, none of these are a durability upgrade. These are just repairs. If I could increase the HP, I would, but it's not a thing. Look for the extra resources. Okay. Looks like this is our first proper medium cave. That seismic generator is shaved off like a full 10 minutes on this run. I didn't even need to like touch half of these regions. Okay. Let's hope I can get a couple more blueprints before the game stops giving any. Okay. 5% chance to get resources from any block. Oh. Next step is Toho difficulty. Oh boy. Maybe? Wish the game was available on Switch. Is Necrosmith available on Switch? Out of curiosity. Okay, so we've got the overdrive. No, what do you... Why? do I want to spend the gold resources now? Yeah, trying to decide if it's worth spending the gold resources just to make my regular gun home. Oh, resources can't be dragged into the ship anymore. It just holds it there. That's really nice. Let's see. Increase the bank. So I want to get the jump cooldowns first and foremost because those are going to make dodging so much easier. Because if I can dodge up rather than, or, you know, just jump in place rather than up or down. Oh. There we go. Now the seismic generator is doing something. I don't think it's supposed to scale based off your upgrades. But I also don't know that well. I'm just gonna let the seismic generator handle most of the near stuff. Interesting, you can actually see some artifacts from either another cave or just like a visual design bug. I don't think those edges are supposed to be spawning in. Did he finish a run? No. I mean, I've died a bunch. The heck is this cave? Rude, that's what it is. Okay, we should probably take our resources and run at this point. This might actually be a large cave for once. Oops. Alright, whatever. Go for that. Can't get anything else. That's fine. Oh. Well, this happens. Huh. What was that? He just spun in place and then winked out of existence. Okay. I'm just gonna sit here and let the seismic generator finish it off. There's something left. Some really slow lad down there. How did you get here? Get out, and now I'll have to sanitize everything because of you. I do kind of appreciate the growing, I don't want to say awareness, would the phrase be almost kind of like lasting cultural zeitgeist of the pandemic that is affecting a number of games? We wanted to come in here just so I could grab a couple of things. I might as well leave kind of with a full load. Yeah, let's just take the tech back. I wanted to get some of the darker orbs, because that's the next mining upgrade, and I figure if I can jump to that. Cluster bomb. Oh, when the durability drops low. Dang. Okay, so if we go back to this, I can get the next level of plasma cutter. Alright, so now I'm going to go back down. So nothing there. We were on this one, but I think we want to go down at least one more. I just figured while we were getting attacked, I might as well use the seismic generator to punch my way into a couple of other maps. Just for the heck of it. And now that we've got the mining upgrade, this is going to go much faster. Yeah, I think this is a large cave. Honestly, I'd much rather have one of these be large. Would have just been a big medium, I'm not sure. Okay, chemical weapon. I love it. I love it. No. I'm not gonna put upgrades into it. Like, I love it. It's very powerful. I think this is just a big medium. Woo! Okay, didn't take too much. I guess actually, if I'm not upgrading my weapons, I might as well use the chem launcher. If I can hit these suckers, it's far superior to my regular weapon for at least clearing the basic dudes. Maybe I can use the chem launcher against the boss. Yeah. It might actually be worth giving it another shot. Even if I can't really see what he's doing, his tell is obvious enough regardless. Because if he goes into shield mode, just stop shooting. I'm pretty sure I can't hurt him anyway. Is there an upgrade that increases its visibility? Alas, no. Hopefully the devs take it into account, but I'm not betting on it. Okay, then we've already done most of the legwork on this one already. Yeah, back in the day, you would have glanced over sentences with quarantine and disinfection. I mean, I've played and read enough media that involves pandemics that, like, from my own personal perspective, well, I don't know. There's a series that I left unfinished because it was right before the pandemic, before lockdown started, where I was going to Disney World Disneyland in 2020, specifically in February of 2020. Extra drilling efficiency, yes. And I remember very specifically being kind of blasé about it. But it also hadn't really hit the US yet. And, like, none of the research had come out about, like, how bad it was. So I was just kind of like, yeah, I'll be fine. And then I got back from Disneyland and was just like, I'm very hopeful I did not get this. And then very glad I didn't. And still haven't, actually. And I plan to keep it that way, because, boy, long COVID sounds awful. I'm not ready yet. It's fine. Ooh, this is one of the rude dudes, though. Please go for the flyer. Yeah. There we go. I didn't want to move because I figured they wouldn't do too much damage to me. They did, but... But I wanted to let my seismic generator do its thing. Okay. Hey, another blueprint. I thought we'd run out of these. Force field, level 5, can absorb even more damage. Yes. The problem with that is it's still going to encourage more bad habits. But actually, what I'd really like is actually one that makes the force field regenerate very slowly, even mid-combat. But that is very unlikely to show up as an option, because I can see that being really busted in the right hands. Or meaningless, I guess. If you're skilled enough that shield regeneration is useful, like actually truly super useful in a boss fight, you're probably skilled enough that you're not even going to get hit. They really did just make these snaky entrances to make the missile far less useful. And the seismic generator. Like, there's no other explanation I have for why the entrances to each of these mines kind of sucks now. I do like the background elements, though. Those look nice. No, 3D artists who got long COVID and their eyesight was drastically changed because of it. Oh, God. Yeah, see, for me, just want nothing to do with any of that. That just sounds terrifying. Let's see. Block is destroyed. Blocks lose 10% of their durability. 5 seconds deals 5 more damage, or movement speed the mine. Nah, I think I'm good without any of those. Let's make the Keb launcher a bit better. Bag bombs, spread area. Let's just go with those. We're not gonna have enough. I'm not actually sure if I really need to do this mine, but I want to get to 100,000 before I fight the boss, and this is going to be the place to do it. Ah, son of a... I mean, on the flip side... if we get lucky, there are minimal flyers, or the flyers are these guys. Wow. Farewell, Geneva. That was effective. That was probably the exact best. The exact best possible wave for me to have to deal with. Oh, we're gonna have oodles of resources, because we have the one where we have a 5% chance of just getting resources off of every rock. We do have the extra drilling efficiency, so I might drill this whole place out to completion. Usually I bail before I get to the end because my tether isn't long enough, but I might try it here just in case there's a blueprint at the end rather than equipment. Okay, so we're right on the edge of losing our tether right here. Let's do as much damage as we can. Oh, good. There is a shortcut between. I always hate these, like, really long vertical obstacles. Impediments. Okay, we've got 100,000, so we can now jump in place. If we so chose. You know, maybe I should actually... Let's go back. Let's go get the range upgrade. Just so I can fire from the safety of my mining beam. Okay. Look at all these resources. I guess I'm just gonna leave it for now. Oh, they've got such a long way to go. I think we'll wait. Okay, so what else do we have? I guess I was going to invest in laser range. That's what I was going to get. Oh, it's you. The jerk bug. I hate that thing. That goop really shreds shields. Okay. The only immediate problem with the extra range on this is I effectively have to fire at an odd angle just just to be able to shoot. It wasn't really worth it. The problem is, if I remember right, this still goes back a ways. Nope. Never mind, we're good. Let's see. Optimized umbrellas. Boy, I can tell you I have zero interest in umbrella optimization here. I'm really hoping with one of these random blueprints we're getting, I'm really hoping we get one that increases my tether range just by a little bit more. Yeah, if I can get that tether to have a really long range, I don't think I'm gonna go all the way back there. I think this is my upper limit. Just gonna pull a bunch of this through and then go back. There we go. Okay. Where are these jerks? The chem launcher must have kind of some weird logic for how it aims. It feels inconsistent. Alright, here we go. Expedition log, day 346. We were expecting to encounter Shiva, but no one was ready for this. Yes, he really cannot approach the wall. But this does not concern his Zyrex. We lost a third of the team in the first attack. Okay. Let's see, what do I invest in? More range? Big beam? No, actually, we should probably snag these two rather than anything else. Okay, so now my repairs are peak. Okay, so let's go all the way over to this mess. Did we get everything else? I think we did. I think it's just this stuff. Either we can suck it all up, or... Cool. Drop that off. Pull these over. Oh, you know what's sad? I bet I'm not going to encounter myself again in this DLC. It seems like it's mostly plot-related caves, as opposed to random goofs. It is interesting how they reserved almost all of this actual game story for I suppose it's boss time more than anything else. Now, we could do a double boss fight. That would be really smart, right? Alright. Let's go, boy. The only immediate problem is dodging that puts me in a bit of a spot. Okay. Nope. Can't avoid that fully. But I can do a decent job of it. Oh, there's going to be the waves in the next one. That's going to be rough. Because, yeah, the next boss fight, he's got slime waves that go up and down the screen. I think just being able to jump in place is going to solve all of that problem. Or all of those problems. But I guess I should get in the habit of dodging through the tentacle rather than jumping in place. Because we're going to need to be able to jump through the wave. I mean, I don't know how much it actually matters. How did I lose all of my shields? I must have gotten hit by something for like a hot second. Well, that was all of my jumps at once. Ooh. Alright, it's gone. Didn't take too much damage. Took more than I'd like. Okay. I walked into the puddle. Everything does so much damage on this difficulty. Gave you a chance. You only have yourself to blame. As you wish. Good to know you can jump through missiles as they're landing. Okay. Did not realize he was in laser mode there. Alright. He changed direction. Freaking hurts. Ow. I don't know. I think I cannot do Chem Launcher. I think it is just too messy. Let's see. So I can't upgrade the force field. I could upgrade the armored claws. We don't have any of the other ones except for the combat capacitor. I wanted to get requires 3 of this resource, and those are dried up. Oh. That's rough. I guess I'll get the Godslayer missile. Yeah, so Chem Launcher just makes it impossible for me to tell what he's doing, and makes it so I have to use a lot more like emergency jumps, which then makes it really hard to avoid things. The safe maybe. Yeah, kind of. I mean, the thing is, like 5 to 10% of like 20 is not much. I guess it does give me the, like, initial plasma cutter upgrade, but I don't even need that. Because my seismic generator does almost all of the mining for me at this point. And then this stuff is soft enough that I can just kind of cut through it. Well, at least it's a medium cave. Plus 30 drilling efficiency right off the bat. That's an upgrade that I can spring for. Yeah, getting hit by missiles a bunch of times feels kind of bad, but it's my fault for using the Chem Launcher. Not like really my fault, but the Chem Launcher just makes it so much harder to dodge. But no, this DLC is meant to be really punished. Damn it. Go in, grab the resources. Ah. Well, at least we get the buzzsaw drone. I like that one. Come on. Okay, snag those. Do I want to get smash mining for once? Sure. Let's see how smash mining works. I gotta check. When a block is destroyed, it does extra damage to everything nearby them. So that's actually really good for the seismic generator as well. Okay. I'm just gonna go here. Do that. I guess if I do my lightning. There's my combat capacitor. That's what I was looking for. I didn't actually check what kind of cave this is. Looks like it's another one of the small ones. Well, on the plus side, small ones disintegrate almost instantly. Do the harder modes give more meta resources? I don't know. I don't think so. Expedition log. Day 522, they made it. The squad returned with the mini-spheres, as well as combat mod spider replicators. You can finally start looking for the Ark. Let's see. Can't you switch difficulty every time you go to the cave for more resources? People keep saying that, but I'm not sure if difficulty does anything for resources. I've seen no indication apart from hearsay of people claiming that I can do that. I mean, if it's a real thing, I could try it, but... Drilling efficiency and movement speed. Oh, this is going to be a really good run for me to lose. Okay, did we get everything else from this one? I think we did. Okay, another umbrella replicator. Still haven't used those, but they're not really helpful. If I can't deploy it in a fight against the boss, then it's functionally meaningless for me. Well, let's get the homing upgrade. Wow. It just gave me the upgrade right off the bat. I don't think I've ever seen it spawn that close. I'll come back to this one. I don't think my seismic generator is going to do a whole lot of damage to it anyway. Okay, we've hit the cloud wall. So I think what I'm going to do is start from the top, go down. There we go. I don't know what critter it was, but luckily it died off camera. I don't know if my saw blade just finished it off or what. But I am not going to complain. Okay, just snag all of that. I guess, no, it's not a weapon upgrade. It is Economic drilling. Oh. It's a money run, boys. If only. If only. I mean, who knows? I might actually be able to beat the boss this time. He's a rough dude, but he's not that bad. I think I'd actually be very fine with Zeus. I think his name is Zeus. I'd be fine with a combat spider if it was slightly less durable. You know, make it a really fast, brutal fight. If we can make it to the second tier, and we might, we're going to be in for a very chill time. I'm going to be able to get a lot of resources out of it at the very least. I don't think I'm going to survive onto the third tier. I didn't even remember. I don't think I've even touched the cloud wall there. Did I forget a thing? Or no, we got the orb and we got the chip. Trespassing one of your customs outer. Let's see, are there seeds? Oh, for like seeded run? I don't think so, no. Okay, let's get our mining upgrade, speed, range, and then invest a little bit in combat. It doesn't seem like my seismic generator is doing anything here. Odd. There we go. Sometimes it... Oh, maybe I have to re-engage it in combat. Maybe that's what it is. Hey, thank you, Monmaker, for the 27-month membership. Morning Wander, about to watch Wall World video from yesterday. I was wondering what your... I was wondering what you were doing for your next members-only series. Shell and I were going to start maybe working on finishing Remnant 2. However, I've got a lot of other things on my plate at the moment, so it's quickly become slightly problematic. I probably could have been quietly recording like Baldur's Gate 3, and so that might be it too. Hard to say. That said, I will be finishing Lobotomy Corporation soon. It's not going to be members only exactly, but members are going to get a bigger vote on that one. So after Lobotomy, it'll be, you know, big old vote of what do I play next? So it'll be like Library of Ruina, Citizen Sleeper. Trying to think of some other games that are like on my to-do list. Due to Regalia, probably. Yeah, I've got so many games I want to finish, man. Remnant is fun, but I dislike the changes to adventure mode. I haven't seen those yet. Right, this one had a weapon. I was trying to remind myself what the goodie at the end was. Did I get everything out of this? No, I did not. Glad I went back to check. On an unrelated note, you made me buy Exoprimal. Finally beat the campaign at about 3 in the morning. It was a good game. Like, I honestly thought that game was going to be kind of a bad, like a mediocre game. Based on the first impressions and the beta I played. And then the more I played of it, I was just like, no, actually, this is like a really good game. I don't have a whole lot of games that like really convert me after that bad of a first impression. And so it was kind of nice. Oh, you know what I should do upgrade-wise? Buzzsaw drone. Is Exoprimal as competitive as some claimed? Not really. So, the way Exoprimal works, right? The way Exoprimal works is you have to do exactly one PvP match. Or two? You have to do like one or two where you're effectively running in parallel to another team, and then at the very end of it you have a death match right at the end to see who wins. Unless somebody's like so far ahead, at which point it's kind of a non-contest. But I think with balancing, that's going to be mostly a non-issue. Holy shoots. Those drilling efficiency upgrades are absurd. But then after the 2 PvP matches, you can throw it into PvE mode, where you are just racing the other team in all aspects. And so it's one of those where it's like, if you don't like PvP, you're going to have a bad first impression, and then it's going to be great. But it's that bad first impression that's hard to work with. Superconductor coil, docking station range, drilling efficiency, movement speed. I really should probably use that, but I just move so fast and drill so fast, it's not a big deal. Anyway, so like it's one of those where Exoprimal absolutely screws itself over on the first impression and then redeems itself with kind of the full playthrough if you're willing to put that much time in. It's a game I think they should have had like a free 2-hour kind of beta to get past the initial bits, and then had the you know, kick in the limits just as it starts getting good, maybe. Oh, don't do that. Too much physics all at once. It doesn't like it. I don't have overdrive on this run. Oh no. Fine. Ugh. I think this is actually the really easy one. Can we do anything else for my gun? That's rotation speed, fire rate, or that's bullet spread. It's fine. I'm just gonna let my bees handle this. Oh, that's the wrong button. Okay. It doesn't seem like I'm getting any more of those super meta currencies, so we are going to have to beat the first boss if I want to have a chance at getting a shorter cooldown on my jump. Well, if there was a day for it, today is the day. I'm just gonna drag over whatever I can. The problem is we've got a bunch of these big, tall walls that I'm gonna have to overcome every time. So better to just do a bunch of pickup runs rather than trying to transport the entire mass over all at once. It's like 200-300 units of resources, though. Still gonna kind of cluster them at the base, but I'm not gonna spend too much time doing it because we are going to spend a whole wave cycle doing this. How long are you gonna be streaming for? Another hour or two, at least. I mean, okay, so I've got a hard limit of 2 p.m. Eastern. as I'm going to want to eat and prep some videos and do some other things. Because I'm going to be recording with my friends over at Stumped for a little bit this afternoon. And I don't want to be late to that or miss it because I'm just playing more Wall World. So really the question is like, you know, 1:30 rolls around. Am I tired? Do I want to stop? Or am I having a good time? Okay, so we can actually go fight the first boss before the big bad shows up. Can I actually get both of these? Yes, I can. Go for the double damage on that. We don't need the shockwave generator. We don't need most of these. Yep, alright, we're good. Yeah, think of your voice. My voice is weird. As long as I'm not doing any reading out loud, I'm probably fine. I've also got a full bottle of water next to me. But yeah, usually assume at least a 3-hour stream whenever I'm going. The only time it'll be shorter than that for the most part is going to be the odd duck streams where I like finish a game in 2 hours and then I'm just kind of like, yeah, I think I'm done. So like my last stream of Lobotomy Corporation might end up being kind of short. Then again, we still have to go for the true ending. Wait, could we maybe talk first? The time for talking passed 20 years ago. Okay. So if he's not doing shields, I have to not do anything. Ugh. Yeah, so I can jump over him for that one. Which is probably easier than jumping in place. Wait, I should actually be here. Because he's probably going to missile. And as soon as that shows up, we jump to the other side of him. I'm going to lightning him. It's not particularly practical. Okay, lasers out. Ow! Even one of those missiles is incredibly painful. You know what? Luckily I can do upgrades in the middle of combat. I wonder if you can actually get him to missile himself. That would be kind of a fun trick. Ow. I wish the warning on the first couple for that one were a little bit more obvious. Now, can I just run to the other side of him? I can. I don't think I took damage from that. Okay, now he's going to jump to the other side of me. Pop it. I think we'll be able to make it to tier 2 for today. Luckily, the timer is paused during this. It would be pretty miserable. Okay, let's do a quick upgrade. I'd hate to get done in by a salvo. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to make it. I wish I could reduce the ow. Like I said, top myself off just in case I do something freaking stupid like that. God damn it. Oh, that's fine. I was doing reasonably well, but dude was just tanky. Look at the extra force field. Even something simple like a health bar on that boss would be nice. Yup. Either a health bar or some kind of visible indicator like, hey, its armor is looking real scratched and broken and whatnot. But yeah, that laser, as far as I know, is a insta-kill. And there's a bunch of other things. Like, it's really strange, because the version I played of this yesterday was much easier. And so I think they overtuned it. I bet if I come back to this, like, tomorrow, we are going to have a much easier time. I might still give them, like, a day or two, but I don't know. I'll have to check the patch notes, see if anything gets changed between today and tomorrow. And either I'll do another Wall World stream, or maybe I'll play some I Am Future or something. Have parts breaking off. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that could be done to make that boss fight specifically feel a lot better. Drilling efficiency? No. I mean, the gun rotation's actually kind of good. So is the boss pissed off at our character's grandpa? I'm pretty sure that's the case, yeah. Yeah, they can just add the player's spider damage animations to the boss. In my opinion, I think they should just add a health tracker. Even if it's, like, inaccurate, or if it just, like, turns them slightly red. Yeah, smoke like the player mech. Yeah, like some kind of visual encouragement that I'm, in fact, killing him. I think I will... If we can get the, oh, right. I should probably upgrade my laser a couple times. Let's see. Do we want to grab that this time? Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, visual indicators to say like, hey, yeah, you are in fact defeating this guy. He's not immortal. Would go a long way in my opinion. Well, extra damage from every bullet. I think we're going machine gun on this run. Yeah, the problem is I can't just ignore the first couple waves like I used to. Because the bad lads spawn right from the get-go now. Then again, they don't do that much damage. But yeah, it could be a good idea for like a meta upgrade, like a status scan. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, make it kind of expensive, but make it... How about this? Meta upgrade, first level, just shows a 3-part health bar. Is it in, you know, the first third, second third, or final third of its HP bar? Second upgrade, you know, segments it out a little bit more, and then third upgrade just gives you the full HP bar. You know, just something like that, so that, you know, finding it and then getting upgrades, it would fit the game really well, and also make it feel a lot more gratifying. Or not, I don't know. The other thing I would say is specifically, don't make it so the enemy laser is just a one-shot. That is incredibly frustrating, because I don't even like it in Dark Souls when an enemy can one-shot you. Like, that just sucks. Especially because a lot of the one-shot moves they don't feel particularly fair to me. And maybe that's just because I don't play a whole lot of Souls-likes, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. I am a fallible human being, and it kind of sucks that I missed this one move and now I have to do that whole thing again. Which is, especially for this, you know, 15, 20 minutes of gameplay, that I'm no longer really benefiting from. Like, we're getting some meta currency, sure, but we're not getting any more blueprints, and that's kind of a downer, because I can't just meta progression my way past this particularly well. It'd also be nice if, you know, the higher tier missiles, for example, could actually start hitting him or something, because he just shoots it out of the sky. Let's see, kind of weird to have a meta upgrade only for that specific boss. No, I mean, it could have... The health bar thing could apply to every single enemy. There's like 3 resources left in here, and I'm not sure if I'm keen on going for it. Let's see. You know what? Actually, my buzzsaw drone can probably snag everything. Oh, I can hear shell recording for once. That's nice. Devolver and Humble have sent us a couple of games that are very much not in my wheelhouse, but very much in hers. And so... I actually have her doing a little bit of recording at least. Yeah, I think the health bar thing could absolutely work on all enemies, or at least maybe all of the bigger enemies. You know, maybe not the little trash mobs, like who cares? But yeah, just give them a little health bar or some kind of like indicator next to them, saying like, yep, this is how much HP they still have. Machine gun fire rate, boy. Okay, so the last run was all about mining. This run is all about, hey, what if the machine gun was not garbage? I'm kind of fine with that. We need it more than mining upgrades. Yeah, can you keep one of the little birds alive to stall? I could, yes. I've done it before. I've been kind of lazy about it on this run. Because what I used to be able to do was actually leave the region. I'd get attacked by a couple of the floaters and birds, and then I'd just peace out and just run all the way to the bottom of the map. And then as soon as they show up, I'd run past and go up to the top of the map, and you could effectively not have to fight a whole bunch of waves. Because these effectively. It was really nice. Damn, that was effective. Alright, we're just going to... I don't really want this tech module. Want these. Alright, there we go. Turret replicator. Nice, but again, not that useful yet. Ah, but you know what I can do? I can upgrade my gun a little bit. Let's make sure we get that first. There we go. And then I might as well just go back in. Saw Buddy is going to just finish him off. Okay. I'm noticing people talking about your message not being sent. There is a possibility that my spam filter is catching you. Though unfortunately, my YouTube spam filter is across both my comment section and my live streams. And so there's a couple of words and things that get auto-blocked as spam. Um, because there's like a bunch of spam bots that would say like reasonably innocuous things, or at least it would look kind of somewhat innocuous, but it was things most people would never say. And so I just block those words. And it does a great job of keeping the spam bots out. And from like from a YouTube comments section, all I have to do is just not report. I just have to prove them, you know, once or twice a day. But for live stream, unfortunately, there's no easy way of quick moderating that stuff. Kind of wish there was, or if, you know, I could have a second spam filter just for my live streams that uses a different set of words. Because like I have a lot of emoji specifically blocked because all of these spam accounts would be like using thumbs up and hearts and kissy faces and other stuff, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't think most people use those. Polished in health. No idea. Could have been a false positive, could have been something as part of that, or who knows. They wrote big bads. Not a clue. Was it a spam filter made by Theojo or something else? It's just a series of words that I've effectively put together over a decade on YouTube. Do you not have live mods on during streams? I do. Sometimes. This might be a little early for a lot of them. For the most part, I've found people tend to be pretty behaved. Every once in a while, there's like a 12-year-old that gets through. And then I have to... I don't want to say I have to, like, change strategies a little bit. I'm here, but I'm working and not actively able to monitor. That's fine. I'll actually, even knowing you're here is good, because, yeah, if there is a problem child... I mean, the thing is, like, I can also stop and moderate. Like, the nice part is, at least according to YouTube, my audience, for the most part, is people older than 18. And that either means that I get some, like, really awful people, very rarely, or everybody else is, for the most part... Well, okay, let me rephrase this. I get a couple of really awful people, but for the most part, everybody else is great. Generally respectful, nice, responsive, doesn't spam, doesn't cause a fuss, doesn't make any problems. And so it's one of those where I don't have to spend a whole lot of time moderating. Whereas it feels like, I mean, both on YouTube and Twitch, you'll get random drive-by jerks. But then also, if I had a much younger audience base watching me, I would probably need more moderating. So, expedition log, day 525. Sent on a squad of spiders in search of the Ark. Thought this day would never come. Got to the age where I still see 18-year-olds as kids. Oh, absolutely. Like, I don't think you're, like, a proper full adult until you're in your kind of late 20s and have spent more time out in the world. You know, for me, 23, I just graduated from college. I had not paid much for bills. I'd paid some taxes, I'd paid some rent, but that was all college, and it was a very, like, kind of sterile and, like, curated environment to protect me from how the world works. And so, like, I had minimal life experience and, just, you know, wasn't really ready to be an adult yet. Even now, I still don't fully feel like one. A lot of imposter syndrome just kind of part of it all. And also just the fact that, you know, Arrested Development due to, everything being extremely expensive. my mother and my mother-in-law like to brag about how they bought their first house in like their 20s, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's cool. Wish I could do that. I think I'll be able to do so by the time I'm like 36 or something, but that's a little rough. I still didn't feel like a real adult until I was 25. Like, a couple of years in the working world, pay taxes a couple of times, clean your own shit up, having to actually do like a full clean of your house because you're moving. And honestly, I'd even say like independently moving without a parent's support. That's a big one in my opinion. And some 30-year-olds who aren't mentally adults. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's people who will like never actually fully get there. I think the answer is no one ever truly grows up. It's just we all grow up in different ways, and some people are better at acting the adults than others. But I see the adage go around every once in a while of, you know, as a kid I used to respect adults and think they all had everything figured out. And now that I'm an adult, I realize that they were all faking it. And I think I very much agree with that sentiment that, like, I have met very few fully put together adults in my life that truly have everything figured out. And maybe I just haven't been exposed to the right collection of adults to get the impression of, like, actual full competency from them. And maybe it's also one of those that the world is, at this point, artificially impossible to specifically get a handle on. Like maybe it's just me, but like dealing with stuff like credit scores and bank accounts and investment accounts versus checking accounts versus savings accounts, taxes, you know, schedule, whatever, and all that stuff. Like I very quickly start shutting down. And, it's always interesting to realize that, like, actually a lot of the adults that tell me I should be able to be on top of these things literally did not have these things when they were growing up. Like, credit scores came out in, what, the 80s or the 90s or something like that? And so, like, most of the adults in my life didn't have to grow up with all of these extra complications that I am mired by. Ooh, that's bad. Okay. Whew. Before the slime just completely mulches me. Okay, that wasn't that bad. Yeah, first job helped me mature a little bit. I'd also say independence from your, like, not living with your parents helps a lot. You know, I've got a lot of friends who are still living with their folks because they have no choice. And they've said that it is incredibly hard to feel like an adult as a result. And, like, it's also the only way that they can survive. They're not getting paid nearly enough to actually live on their own in the area I'm in. We were at one of their houses, and they're... like, we were talking with their mother, and their mother was like, oh yeah, how much are you paying in rent? You know, we're looking for something that's at about, you know, maybe $1,000 a month. And it's just like, nope, you ain't getting an apartment at our complex. Okay, we want to go all in on combat now. I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything else here. Like, the weird part is, the area that I live in isn't even that, like, well-to-do, but rent prices are just obscene. I'm in Germany near Munich, and homeownership is a distant dream for me. Yeah, I'm very lucky in where I'm at. Prepare to die. You're so gloomy today. Okay, is he gonna just immediately go laser? He's just gonna immediately go laser. I think I'm just gonna have to focus on this one. Barely chat. Frick, went the wrong direction. Did hit me. I swear there's gotta be an upgrade. There's gotta be an upgrade that increases my Robo Spider's HP, like, one more time. Wow. That sucks. Apparently, if you're on top of him when he fires the missiles, you take all of them. The boss pattern is a bit too predictable to me. I mean, they're supposed to be predictable. If they were less predictable, he would actually be impossible. The problem is, he's still brutal enough that you make one mistake, and it just kicks you in the teeth. Well, at least I can afford one more of those. I think we might even save up for it. Yeah, my problem is I need like one more speed upgrade, and then I can dodge all of the missiles with perfect accuracy. I can dodge all the missiles perfectly. But yeah, if you get stuck on a bad pattern with the missiles, you're just dead, and there's not much you can do with it. ADHD and other neurodivergency for us is brutal for the economy. Or for our economy. Yeah. I don't know. Like, at some point I should get tested. Because I can never tell if I'm just, like, slightly stunted or I'm on some kind of spectrum somewhere. Because I have some, like, really strange, avoidance issues. So for me, invoices is the big one. I have the hardest time sending invoices out. And, like, even the thought of sending invoices sends me into a bit of a panic. Which sucks because now I have to send off, like, 30 invoices this weekend. Don't shoot, I'm a scientist. Science man, give me science. I also have, like, immense trouble for remembering anything unless I've written it down. That just, like, immediately it's replaced by something else in my brain and I'm just gone. Luckily, I've got just a journal sitting next to me at all times so I can keep track pretty easily. Seems like ADHD is a lot more common than you thought. I think it's one of those that growing up, stuff like neurodivergency in general was not actually really well known or studied or even understood. And for the most part, it was either kind of obvious if somebody was one way or not. So like I had a very autistic friend in elementary school. He was pretty functional, but he would shut down in a stressful situation instantly. And so he had to be coddled a little bit. Bright guy, very fun, but he definitely was like demonstrably on the spectrum in a way that no one else I knew at the time was. And so it was easy to say, well, yeah, that person is autistic. Same thing with, you know, somebody with Asperger's. Like, it was pretty obvious when somebody was really solidly there. But, you know, there was always a couple other people with, like, a little bit here and there. Same thing with, like, ADHD and whatnot. Like, on some base level, you know, maybe something was just slightly up for this kid. Oh, wrong direction. But there was no, like, real language or education around, like, you know, what's their deal? Why are they a little off? And I think the more research done to it, the more you realize, I think everybody actually is kind of on this spectrum. It's just how much. And so, like, on your high end, you have the high-functioning people that maybe only have, like, a glimmer of a trace. Then you have probably more people that are, you know, having to deal with so much more than, you know, most regular people. And unfortunately, most of our systems in the world are built around the idea that everybody has to be perfectly normal and that any level of divergency is seen as weakness rather than, you know, just nature. Which is really stupid. Let's see what we get. Let's see. We got the Locust machine gun, so it might be fine. Damn it. Kept getting stuck on that edge. I was trying to go over it while reading chat a little bit. But no, I wouldn't be surprised as, like, more of these things get studied if more and more, like, accurate diagnoses and then obviously it becoming more widespread. But who knows? I mean, there's also like tons and tons of things like in our water that are probably affecting us. You know, for my parents' generation, it was leaded gasoline has, you know, left them much more irritable, short-tempered, and with a whole host of like other issues that is barely researched and never acknowledged. And like that has had an effect, and I'm sure that had an effect on me. And that, you know, luckily we've kind of gotten rid of that shit for the most part, except for like a couple of places. But now we've got all sorts of plastics and random chemicals that we're just dumping into our water systems and not doing anything about, because for the most part we can't. And who knows what that's going to do to people. I mean, the answer is mostly cancer. How do you even get it diagnosed with ADHD anyway? I'm pretty sure there are behavioral doctors that like specialize in it. Air has always been the worst, I think. Air comes and goes, depends on where you are. It was definitely worse in like industrial England, when everything was so smoggy that it was just kind of poison. Did I say psychologist? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Words. My vocabulary suffers a little bit when I'm playing a video game. I'm just kind of like, I had this issue the other day where I don't think I told Shell this, but we were looking at geese and I just completely blanked on the word goose and instead was thinking big duck. And I was just like, hey, look at all those big ducks. And she's just like, yeah. Thinking I was just making a gaffe. And I was just like, my brain was just farting so hard at the moment that I couldn't think of anything other than them just being big duck. I always mix up psychologist and psychiatrist. Yeah. Like, I think I know the distinction between the two, but that's about it. Hey, thank you, Jamie Brook, for the membership. Welcome on in. Cobra chicken, large ducky. Oh, geese is in cobra chicken. Yeah? I hate geese. Ducks are super cute. Geese are rude dudes that aren't that fun. Like, sometimes they can be a little cute and kind of pretty, but compared to ducks, geese are inferior. I would like to eat one. Okay. These are just the summoners now. These guys aren't going to be able to do that much damage. Okay, let's do a quick jump. I might want to get the microwave blaster. Oh, right. I've got the bouncy gun. It seems like the bouncy gun does, like, stupid damage. I think that's part of my issue, is that I do actually have to use the new weapons they've given. Ducks are kind of violent-ish. Geese also are kind of violent-ish. Like, I will agree, duck mating habits are extremely suspect, and I'm not keen on that. But it's also only something I've ever read about in books, which is maybe part of the issue. Because, like, from my perspective, I see all these rather cute-looking duck couples that are just going around. But I also have no idea, like, how weirdly coercive that is, and I'm not even sure if it's really my place to specifically judge how ducks work on a Well, it's not really an anthropological level. It's a... I don't know. I don't know if I want to judge ducks. Whereas geese, on the other hand, just plonk themselves in the middle of your path and then get really mad because you want to get through. Okay. We still haven't gotten any of the white crystals, interestingly enough. I think we've just been finding the wrong caves for it. Seen a lot of angry ducks. Huh. It might also be a regional thing. Northeast US, or Northeast and Northwest US have had some of the, like, chillest, most, like, just peaceful ducks ever. At least from my perspective. Ducks are less violent if male and female ratio is correct. Interesting. I mean, makes sense. Less or no competition probably makes it really easy to just pair off. Okay. I wish those upgrades would actually apply to just all of your weapons. I shouldn't be doing this, but I am. Ooh, we are taking a lot of damage, actually. Well, there's the buzzsaw drone. What? How are you pulling that menu up? That didn't hurt too much. Saved me a bunch of time. Yeah, they don't know. Goose probably thinks I just decided to sit here and this a-hole's coming at me. It's fair. I think, for me, I'm so used to interacting mostly with, smaller prey animals that don't have the luxury of being pissy. You know, most of the creatures that I encounter, I guess, are rabbits. Rabbits and birds. But like smaller birds, you know, songbirds and whatnot. And so when I encounter those, they're just kind of like, oh, you're coming at me. Time for me to hide away because I am small and edible. And don't want to try and even play chicken with you, big adult human. Geese are big enough that they can afford to be pissy at you because you might not be able to harm them. And they know it, and that sucks. Because it means they get to just be little jerks. Because I'm not going to harm them. In fact, it's actually often quite illegal for me to harm them. Like my hometown, we had tons of geese. And the geese would just be everywhere, but it's illegal in town law to do anything to the geese. Which, like, makes sense. Don't harm the geese. The problem is the geese will, like, surround your car and not move. They will chase kids off playgrounds and stuff, and the town's not that big, so you kind of have this permanent group of Canadian geese that have just... Oh, did we get both of the drilling upgrades? Yes, we did. You have this permanent group of Canadian geese that have just set up shop that refused, like, they don't leave town seasonally, they just live there now. And there's tons of them because there are no natural predators and they have nothing to fear, which means they're not even scared of people. They won't, like, move for cars because cars will just either go around them or wait for them to leave. And so, like, 1 year for school, the geese were so bad, and they must have done something to get the geese to stop doing this because it went away after a while. But, like, I missed a whole block of classes because the geese just planted themselves around my school bus and got really mad if we opened the door because they were, like, right outside of it. And so we were just trapped on the bus. until the cops could come, and that took a long time because nobody was taking it seriously because they're just geese. So not to say that the geese need to be some of the geese need to be predated on? How do you even pronounce that? But it felt like the ducks, or not the ducks, the geese needed some level of like unnatural predatory behavior so that they weren't quite so problematic. And with the heavy rains here, the geese have begun colonizing baseball diamonds. That's funny. Yeah, put down hunted? Yeah, maybe. Preyed upon. Yeah. Like, I've seen predated as a word used in literature, but I've never actually seen anybody say it out loud. We kind of have the same issue with the local turkey population, that they're equally stupid and aggressive. But at least with them, you can go into like full charge at a turkey and they flip out and it's really funny. I don't know if you can do that about the geese, because the geese will actually harm you. The turkeys are just big and dumb and full of bird testosterone. Unless, of course, they've got chicks, at which point don't mess with them. But you know what? I'm fine with that. If a critter's got babies in the area, they're kind of allowed to just be slightly more territorial. Because, I mean, go figure. For big birds, Lucian is big cats. Get some tigers. Funny. Personally, I'm in favor of bobcats. They're not really a danger to most people. They are to, like, small children. But even then, like, most of the time they'll leave you alone unless they're really hungry. But, I mean, ooh. Come on. There we go. There we go. That hurt a little bit more than I wanted it to, but it's fine. Okay, so we can get the last of those upgrades. And then do I want to upgrade my buzzsaw drone? Absolutely. Let's see. Hearing from your grandpa about people grabbing geese by the necks like snakes. Yeah, I think you'd want to have like a thick jacket for that kind of thing. Otherwise, yeah, you're probably going to get bitten. And like, don't mess with geese unless you're actually ready for it. Those suckers are mean. Swans are worse, but at least swans aren't that common and reasonably easy to avoid. Whereas, like, a goose could harm you. Like, in a fight between a human and a goose, the human's gonna win, almost always. But the goose is going to do damage. Let's see, everyone talks about geese like they're a dangerous menace. Meanwhile, I walk through them like they aren't there and they just run away from me. Am I that scary? It depends. I mean, the bigger you are, maybe. It could also be, yeah, a visual thing. It could also be the town you're in. Because, like, from my perspective, the towns I'm in, generally the geese have been there so long that they're fully acclimatized to people. And have lost any and all kind of caution. And that's where they start getting overly aggressive and really mean. Okay. I think after this next wave, we're just going to go fight the boss. I'm not benefiting too much by sticking around here. I like the fact that the snow actually collects on my spider mech while I'm crawling. That's a really neat effect. How many times has Wander died to Metal Spider? I die about once every 20 minutes, and the stream's been going on for 2 hours, so 5 or 6 times? Oh, there's another one. Oh, this is probably just a small cave, though. Yeah, it's one of the small ones. Expedition log, day 591. An order came from the hives. In order to avoid subsequent infections, all members of the expedition must wear protective suits. Sounds reasonable. Let's see. I don't want to waste my time with fighting the Leviathan. Let's see. Nope, we don't need that. And we've got everything we can get on the ricochet gun. I've got enough for some repairs, but not nearly enough. Well, let's see what happens. Stop trying to get in, Outer. Only death awaits you here. I'll risk it. Okay, don't get killed by the laser. God damn it! Yeah, my extra range on that jump kills me there. And there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, the problem is I end up locked in a bad firing pattern, and I'm like, okay, let's bail, and then I bail through the boss. Can you imagine how the anti-maskers would have reacted if it was the suits instead of the masks? I bet my character was part of the anti-masker faction that got exiled. Probably not, actually, but still. So, I think at this point... No, I can't. I mean, I could. We could try and get as many yellow resources as we possibly can, and then effectively just, get the first gun and then go fight the boss. But I probably want to collect as much green as I can, too. Attack. Need some hitbox tweaks. I don't think you should be able to get hit by the missiles in that close of proximity. Like, not when he's firing them, only when they, come back down. Because it's not like my spider is above him. We're just layered on top of each other, but the missiles have a functional hitbox when they're still going out. That boss fight's time or height triggered? Height triggered. He guards the cloud wall. Which unfortunately puts me in a really awkward position because I need to get past him to make any progress here. And we're effectively incapable of making any meaningful, lasting progression on this game until I've killed him. And it's not easy. I always wonder how many requests you get from people to play the roguelike and roguelikes, and how many of them are actually good and worth looking into. So, I don't have the numbers fully for you because it varies. On a personal level, or maybe not on a personal level, on a market level, there are about 14,000 games that are coming out on Steam this year. Of those 14,000, I cover vaguely about 500 of them. And even among that, only 200 of them are actually going to be successful on Steam. You know, get more than, was it 100 reviews? I think only a small handful get above 1,000. And those are usually games like this, games that people get like really into. But did I already got the saw blade drone. Sick. Hopefully I get the drone, but it's not likely. I love the saw blade drone. Here, we might as well actually just invest into it. Speed and attack cooldown. There we go. Have you beaten him at all? I was watching the first vid when I went to sleep, but I dozed off. Yes. So I beat him yesterday when he wasn't an insta-kill laser and his missiles didn't do nearly as much damage. It was grueling and I almost ran out of resources, but he is beatable. Like, I've done it. It's just then they buffed him to make him much, much harder, and now I can no longer win. I think you should still be able to get hit, but maybe if you're not standing next to him. That's where I'm at. Like, either you should be able to hit when it comes back down, maybe. Really, it's just that I don't think the missiles should be primed to explode that close to him. I'm not even sure if that's how it works with real missiles. Let's see. Do we want to waste resources on range? Sure. I'll get one. I think I wish I'd been successful as Grav, because it was fun, because the game introduced me to you. Grav was neat, but they tried to make it like Rust, and that was a mistake. I've seen this time and time again, where developers try and just remake the thing they liked, but slightly different. I say with zero sense of irony, considering I'm playing a game that is effectively a remix of Domekeeper. But on the flip side, it's a damn good remix, because they understood what made Domekeeper good, and then remixed it with their own brand of mechanics. Whereas stuff like Grav was just like, we're not really sure what we're doing, so we're just gonna make Rust, but then also, we're gonna make it kind of this MMO-y thing and have really bad netcode. So as soon as the game gets popular, the game is now dead. Like, that was, I think, one of the most disastrous launches for an indie game I've ever seen, in terms of like functionality and then not being able to recover from it. Yeah, I don't actually know what my how many games I get that I accept and how many of them I say no to. I guess if once I'm done with some of my other data gathering projects, I might actually look into that. Because right now I'm doing a thing where I'm tracking how much time I spend working versus not. Because I had somebody accusing me of they were being snitty. I was talking about how I don't have enough time to play games to completion, and they're like, you play games for a living, you know, and you have the easiest job ever. How much does a banana cost? $10? You know, it was one of those moments where it was just like an extremely uninformed take to denigrate me and like my complaints about how my life works, because to some degree, like, it's kind of hard to understand that being a streamer broadcaster kind of person is more work than it looks. It's a great job, don't get me wrong, but there are some people out there that just like refuse to believe that it is work at all. And so I've been gathering more or less timesheet data. I guess I already gathered a month's worth of timesheet data, and I just have to like collect it together. But I might honestly do a second month just for the sake of consistency, as my workflow changed. But then maybe after that, I should probably do some stuff around my emails. I'm like, how many games do I get? How many of them are good? How many of them are not good? How many of them do I accept? How many of them do I actually cover? Not really entitled or sheltered. I think there's just a cohort of people in the world, but especially online, who specifically hate the idea of somebody else having a good time or living a better life than them. And so they take that out on everybody else instead of improving their own circumstances. Expedition log. Day 581. The spiders are back. A couple of days' journey from here, they found an ancient ship with several surviving megaspheres. Without a doubt, this is the Ark. It's a pity Sir Morgan didn't live to see this day. But like, I've definitely seen this every once in a while. Just kind of going around on what the site formerly known as Twitter. I would see somebody like showing off their like cool vegan breakfast that they put together, and then there would be like a couple of weirdos being like, yeah, well, check out my meat platter. And it was like really confrontational and kind of aggressive, and it was just like, yeah, it's weird. And then they get very angry when anybody would say like, why are you doing this? I think it's just kind of a constant thing of a lot of people are miserable and don't know why, and so it's easier to just kind of lash out at everything and everyone, rather than to say like, hey, is this something that could be solved in some way, shape, or form? And like, to be fair, sometimes it is actually important to say like, hey, this ain't cool. Right. I also do damage by running into things. I haven't been doing that much, but I can run those guys over now. Dead-naming Twitter is never not funny. Like, I feel slightly bad because the practice of dead-naming itself is kind of icky. But on the flip side, it's Twitter. And also X is like universally one of the worst rebrands I think I've ever seen a business go through. And like, I've seen a lot of bad ones go by, both in the indie space and not. Like Long Island Blockchain Company. It's an iced tea company. They just labeled themselves as blockchain for investors to throw money at them. And wouldn't you know, they got in deep shit for that, because that's market manipulation. That one always sticks with me as like probably singularly one, probably the worst idea. But I mean, if you want to advertise that you've lost all morals and are just trying to shamelessly cash in on a trend, that's how you do it. Dead naming only exists when the entity in question named itself. I mean, it's not cool to dead name a person, like, at all, no matter what it is. But a company that has changed its name for extremely dubious reasons, is a little bit different. But it's funny. I hope you're saying it's funny to dead name Twitter, because once again, not funny to dead name a person. The website with the placeholder is a name. Yeah. I'm legitimately curious how long that website is gonna last. Okay, docking station. Let's grab some upgrades. Because I can get the movement speed, split beam. Oh yeah, we can get the big stuff now. Nope. Wasn't there an article that people had to move or just complained to the city because the neon sign was too bright? I think it was people complained. I don't think anybody moved. That sign was only out for like... No, might as well just jump. I think that sign was only up and running for like maybe a couple of days before it got slapped down because go figure. Oh, do I have a... No, I haven't found another weapon yet. Ugh, pain. Yeah, I didn't hear of anybody actually having, like, health issues from that sign. But on the flip side, it's one of those where it's like... I would be legitimately, like, infuriated if a company pointed a bright glowing sign at my apartment and started strobing it. Like, I would have complained about that within hours. It's the chemical weapon. Like, light pollution is a serious issue, but that especially would be awful. We actually moved away from Kansas because of kind of a similar situation. We were living in a really lovely apartment complex in Olathe, Kansas, briefly. I think we were there for 2.5 years. But the second year we were there, Shell went away for like a little bit. No, let's get these first because we're gonna actually need them. I don't know if I want to risk the chem launcher. I think we might have to go for machine gun upgrades on this. But so Shell went away for a week, and during that, they did some work on the... It was like a printing facility that was just on the other side of the tree line from us. And they replaced their entire HVAC system. The problem is, in doing so, they, the HVAC system suddenly started making a noise that sounded like wee, 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 wee. And it got louder and louder over the course of a couple of months. So initially we could just drown it out really easily. By the end of it, we had fans on maximum and you could still hear the damn thing. If I think about it, I can still hear the damn thing. But it was incredibly loud, and like I think I still have a video recording of it because we like stood next to the building and it was just uncomfortably loud to be near. And so we complained and we're like, hey, this HVAC system is awful, you know, and very much against noise ordinances. And unfortunately, the good state of Kansas doesn't have that great of noise ordinances to begin with. But apparently, according to the anybody that would do anything about it, they were grandfathered in and didn't have to worry about noise ordinances because their facility had been there for longer. So instead of... let's see. So instead of fixing anything, we were told to just deal with it. Maybe it'll go away at some point. So we left Kansas entirely because I didn't want to stick around there because that was awful. And like months later, we got a call from code enforcement being like, "Hey, so did you want to like put in or like formalize that complaint of yours?" After we've been like talking to them for actual years. Or not actual years. It was like a year and X number of days or months or something like that. And it was just like, nope, this is meaningless. But like that, boys, stuff like bright signs, loud music and stuff like that is never be around a residential area. And vice versa, residential areas shouldn't be around industrial complexes. And had I known it was going to be that bad, I would not have moved there. Stadiums and arenas are always referred to as their old name, not the current sponsor's stadium. I hate the idea that you can have buildings in your town or city that just get renamed to the highest bidder. Like, at least where I live and have lived, it's always felt like there's kind of an identity issue with a lot of the places that I've lived and moved to and whatnot, where everything is just strip malls and shopping, and there's no real, like... Oh, tell me about your people. How did you manage to survive on the wall? Do you have any records of the time before the escape? Maybe something on the early settlement period of the wall. We have so many gaps in our knowledge of that era. Please tell me you know something. And our character says nothing. I kind of wish we actually could interact with some of these NPCs in a more long-running sense. Okay, which one of these was the yellow cave? I think it was this one? Yeah, here it is. At least you can tell. And we've got all the mining upgrades we could possibly ask for. Did I? No. I didn't clear this place out. We just let the seismic generator do its thing and then left. Yeah, the problem is I don't have enough to upgrade my weapon again. And so the question is, do we try and take the chem launcher? Do I somewhat upgrade the machine gun and just hope my drones make up for the difference? Do we stick it out and fight the boss? Oh. Ooh. That always hurts. Okay, I might as well use the chem launcher. Wow. I guess the drones must have just shredded the dude. I wonder if you considered streaming or adding speech to text caption overlay for accessibility. I could. Does YouTube not have that? Because I will admit I was just hoping YouTube's lives or like subtitling would work that way, but maybe it has to process. Because my one problem with that, and the reason why I generally don't do it, is because I actually use this footage later. Like if I want to do a review for some reason of Wall World, I'm going to download the VOD for this and then cut it up and use it for the review. If I have a live transcription thing put on top of it, I can't use that because that text is baked in. If YouTube would let me overlay a transparent video on top of another video, that would change things dramatically. Yeah, so there is no closed captions for live. Oh, that sucks. But that, unfortunately for me, it's one of those where I think I'm gonna have to be somewhat inaccessible to people, because I need to have pure footage for my own purposes at a later date. But I will say, like, the VOD never goes away, and YouTube does have the transcription service. And so even though, yes, there are some people being specifically excluded by this, they'll still be able to enjoy the stream as a video after the fact. And that's the best I can offer right now, and just cross my fingers that it just keeps getting better and better, and that hopefully eventually it just allows for live transcription. Because yeah, Google Meets has live transcription. Like there's a lot of tech already in existence. It just needs to be applied here as well. Yeah, I think I'm just going to I think I'm just gonna buff my chem launcher and hope for the best. So recording and putting on a hard drive, not an option for you? So the big issue for me, for the most part, is one, the live transcription is part of the recording and streaming process. So I'd have to have a whole second computer that I've linked my playing computer up to. And I'd be streaming with one and recording with the other. And that's just a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot. And yeah, the size of the stream file is massive. I need a server farm. For frame of reference, I've recorded an entire playthrough, nearly 100% completion of Final Fantasy 16, and it was pretty much a terabyte at 1080p 60 FPS. Like I I don't have the hard drive space for that. I'd have to be shelling out a couple $100 every 2 or 3 months just to be able to store everything. I'd have to like burn through a lot of resources quick. See, you might actually be able to do it on closed captions. I can't turn it on now, but I might actually be able to enable it for the start. I'll keep that in mind. I'll try that for next time. I hope you've written a will. What did I ever do to you? Well, there goes the shields. You know what? Screw it. We're just gonna upgrade my machine gun. Hopefully I have enough resources. I can't get the final rotation. But yeah, I'm just not going to be able to hit him. Okay. That hurt, but I'll take it. At least I didn't die. Awful timing. Let's see. Machine gun, exosuit, robo spider. God damn it, I forgot he was doing a laser. Yeah, I cannot use the chem filter. Or the chem launcher on him during that. It's just not worth it. Let's see. And I still can't buy that because it is too expensive. But yeah, I'd have to take this stream down and bring it back up again if I want to turn on closed captioning. But it might actually be a thing that I can do. The AC unit replacement Wander was talking about shouldn't have fallen under the grandfather clause of noise ordinance. Yeah, unfortunately, law enforcement rules and regulations are only as useful as the people are willing to, the people who enforce them are willing to enforce them. And so for them, the business was untouchable. It was there first. They could do whatever they wanted. And I'm sure if like the whole complex had complained, or even the people who ran my apartment complex had complained, but I was just one person trying to tell a business that I'm sure it was like tens of thousands, if not $100,000 HVAC replacement system was unacceptable. You know, that they had no desire to change or fix, you know, fix the HVAC system, just to bow to one person's complaints. And that, you know, code enforcement was not interested in forcing them to do that. I'd have needed lawyers in a class action system, or just somebody of equal clout to this business to say like, hey, no. But unfortunately, I did not have that behind me. I think it got worse that people were complaining, hence why code enforcement had contacted me after the fact. But at that point, we'd already left, and we just laughed them off and just got out of there. Because, you know, I'm not subjecting myself to that stuff. Yeah, lawyers are expensive, and in the meantime, I would have had to not sleep very well for like another X number of months, or even years, because like going after somebody in court is not a fast process. And so unless they got like a very quick injunction from a sympathetic judge, I would have been was out of options for a speedy resolution. I see no tenant rights groups. I mean, maybe. I don't know. If there was, I wasn't aware of them. And this is also Kansas pretty soon after... What's his name? Brownback? I forget his name. There was like a really moronic governor that ripped a bunch of things to bits. and like wrecked Kansas, to the point where it's still having, I think, some trouble recovering. And so like a lot of policy changes and dumb decisions kind of carried over, and I'm sure tenants' rights organizations got hammered during it as well. It just wasn't worth my time, especially because like my lease was up in a couple of months. Like, if I owned a property in the area and I had a vested interest in fixing and improving things, sure. But like, I'm just a guy that doesn't even like plan on living there long term. And so for me to go to bat that hard for a system that is actively, maybe not hostile to that kind of response, just didn't seem like it was worth my time or energy. I have a billion other things I'd rather do. And so if like an area, god damn it. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. But what was I gonna say? This is not worth my time to like fight for that. I'd rather move somewhere else. Especially because like moving for me, it's expensive, but it's better than losing sleep for a year or paying for a lawyer. Now, once I own a house, then I'm gonna have to fight a little bit more because, boy, say if like a industrial farm sets up right next to my house and all of a sudden everything smells like manure forever, like that would be an issue that I would have to actually seek legal compensation for, because what else are you even supposed to do about that situation? But as a renter, nah, if the building I live in suddenly goes toxic, I'm just gone. Like, I don't like renting, but there are perks. Okay, none of that you. Well, we don't have our drones this time. I've noticed. I don't think the drones help in the boss fight, but maybe I'm just missing it. That's where I dumped a missile on him previously. Oh well. Expedition log. Day 553. Something strange is happening. Nearly every member of the first expedition team has fallen ill. All of the sick have a black coating on their mucous membranes and are suffering from weakness. Quarantine has been enforced. Is there a way to go back to the previous version of this game? I don't think so. There might be a beta branch I can quickly pop myself onto. Heck, there might even be a hot fix. So I think... I mean, we're not that far into this run. Let me check right now. Let's see. Is there no patch notes? Or update history? I don't see anything about update history, and they haven't... Okay. Your buzzsaw thing was moving towards him at least. Okay, so there is some stuff. Now, I'm not seeing anything about it. I'm seeing a lot of people complaining about it. Let's see. But I'm not seeing anything about updates or whatnot. And I think we already got the chem launcher, which is slightly frustrating because the chem launcher probably does oodles of damage, but it's not going to work for me. I don't know. I think really my solution at this point to winning is waiting for a patch. I'm going to keep going because we are getting meta progression resources, and I'm still enjoying it. Talking about playing the original game versus the DLC. Here I'm talking about the DLC, I think. I'm starting to get kind of mixed around. But I think we might just have to wait for a balance patch or two. I mean, this is like, do you guys remember when Wall World originally came out? There was the bug where the tentacle would automatically hit you no matter what, and there was nothing you could do about it except for tank the damage. This is that again. Like, they goofed, overtuned it, didn't test it, and are just expecting the live players to bear the brunt of it. And for the most part, like, I am actually fine with not having a good time here, because it means it's going to be so immensely satisfying when we get to the point where it's going to be immensely satisfying when we actually get to the point where we can fight the Mecha Spider-Man. And not just get our face handed to us by an one-shot laser. I don't think I need to upgrade the chem gun. I think I can just use it in its pure state at the moment. And it's just going to take care of things for me. Take some damage for a bit, probably. I can at least clear out this whole mine while it's shooting at me. I think I can actually clear out a couple. Because, yeah, if it's just this little guy, we can go for quite a while before it's going to cause me any lasting harm. Let's see. Is it possible they did this to inflate gameplay time? I mean, it's possible they overtuned the first boss because either players were progressing too fast, or there's actually some kind of much worse issue later on. I saw a couple people complaining about a corrupted save file, and I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't just something slightly later on down the line that wrecks save files. I've made a backup personally. Okay. I don't know how long I want to mine this for. A while yet. I guess this is why they don't want to have regenerating shields for any reason whatsoever. Okay, let's grab this. We're about to actually start taking damage. Not that it's, like, particularly damaging, but I'd still prefer not to lose too much HP to delaying tactics. Okay, grab the last of those upgrades. Can't get anything else there. Got that. Don't think I need the rest of these. But yeah, my assumption is first boss was too easy. You could just tank through it with resources and didn't need to bother to learn. Now they made it too hard and are probably going to make it easier. Truly, this is what happens with Alowar's games every single time. I don't think I've ever had an experience with their games where this was not normal. Because Necrosmith launched... was kind of fun. First couple hours were great. Then you kind of hit a certain difficulty point where it's just like, oh, this sucks now. And there's like no way around it. And then a couple of patches come through, game gets in a better state, and wouldn't you know, now it's actually, or sorry, so it's in good state, but then you hit a wall and it sucks and people are mad, and then they fix it within like 2 or 3 days. And then it's just a much better experience. Like, seriously, watch my first couple of videos on Wall World and Necrosmith. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about, where they either overtuned certain things or like didn't have stuff. Because I don't think they do much for like quality testing. I think it's purely just a does game work? No big bugs? Cool. Oh, game isn't fun. We'll fix that. And like, to be fair, it does work. These games are lightweight enough that like I'll come back to this tomorrow and make like only do 2 rounds of it because I'm so I'm already like ready and raring to fight the boss and skilled enough to do it and geared to the teeth and everything. And he's, you know, hopefully is going to be in a much more beatable spot than he was. Like, the studio makes some pretty good games, but they are definitely incredibly low budget. Huh, I took him with me. Rude. That hurts. I was hoping I'd get him with a stomp. Alright, we're good. Let's see. I guess let's just grab the stock of resources that I've gathered here. Balance is one thing not easily treatable outside of playtesting. Yep. Bigger studios can have a lot of people doing balance testing for them. Or slower studios can have the like time and the luxury to specifically playtest stuff and refine it before launch. I'm sure Silksong will have been played like thousands of times before it ever hits market. And even then, it's probably going to have some like weird bugs and design oversights and flaws that get missed because, you know, the dev team can only do so much. Whereas this, I mean, Wallworld came out back in April? I think it was an April game. But it came out back in April and was like prior to that had been announced like maybe 6-8 months beforehand. Like this game was made incredibly quickly and this DLC was made incredibly quickly. And to be fair, the DLC mostly just adds on to the main game. It doesn't require that much extra oomph. I probably should have just come back for these. My backpack's big enough. But that, you know, I don't think they have the luxury of really testing for too long. Does the tentacle boss get hard the more times you fight him? Yes. Yeah, every time you fight him, there are new mechanics that makes him more punishing and problematic. Okay, I have just enough. I just need a little bit more blue. Did I get the upgrades? Yes, we do have homing. Alright, that's enough for the damage upgrade. Or, oh, that's bullet spread. I guess that's useful. I'm sure Silksong is coming out at some point. Probably. I can't imagine that they're going to have a Darkwood style dissolution, though they might. You never know. Sometimes studios just fragment even on the last step because making games is legitimately really difficult, and making games with like a studio of people with high expectations on you is brutal. Like I've got to imagine there's actually going to be stories coming out from like from a couple of these other studios for how rough the working conditions the second time around were. like maybe I'm wrong with this. I don't know. Maybe they're just taking their time and really just polishing it as much as they want because they have plenty of money. But I don't know. It always feels like indie development has this kind of awful element of self-sacrifice that everybody lifts together. And as such, a lot of people like put themselves through a lot more. And it's not even indie dev. This is just like all dev. You will always hear stories of developers putting themselves through incredibly shitty situations to like blitz out a game that, you know, it doesn't even matter how well the game does. They get paid no matter what. You know, there's always that kind of undercurrent of the conversation if a game is in the news for something controversial. You'll have like a bunch of people trying to say like, but think of the developers. And it's just like, yeah, but they already got paid. It's really just the business executives that get, well, it's not even the business executives. Really, it's just the studio that gets wrecked if things go wrong, because the business execs are just going to pay themselves big bucks regardless of what happens. Oh, look at that fire rate. Let's see. Let's go up. No, we don't want to do it yet. A game dev is the perfect storm of non-automatable tasks and very sensitive customer base. I will say, kind of as part of that, I would not want a whole lot of game dev to be automated. Like, I've been getting a lot of games that have been advertising, like, AI-generated dialogue. And it sounds awful to me. Like, I barely enjoy talking to characters in games to begin with. Not necessarily because the dialogue is bad, but because I just want to kind of get on with it. Like, playing Baldur's Gate 3 is kind of this weird balancing act for me, where it's, you know, do I talk to this NPC for a while, or do I waste the time to talk to this random NPC in case they have something useful to say? Or do I just continue forging ahead and just hope that they weren't somehow remotely close to important? Don't want to fight the evil spider yet. My main consideration is I don't have the second... Oh, it's 5%. I'll be fine without that. I don't have the second efficiency upgrade. But anyway, what was I going to say? For Baldur's Gate 3, you know, the game is already pretty long-winded. You shall not pass. Flee, you fool. Funny. Okay. Jump. I wish I was just a little bit faster with these missiles, but I guess that would take away a lot of the threat. I think I'm just going to jump over the lasers. Trying to maneuver around him, I think, is part of my issue. Ow. That took off my whole shield. Nope. So grumpy that he has missile defenses. Being able to fire my own would be incredibly helpful. Ow. And yeah, if you're going in the wrong direction, those missiles just wreck you. Ooh. Well, at least we have the funds to get this. Wow. That emergency safe, you can actually get quite a lot of those. Let's see. All right. I think I'm going to call it here. We're going to do a little bit more. I'm just going to get enough that I can get the next level of Armored Claws. Do we? No, we have just enough time. We can do one more run. But after that, I'm going to have to call it one way or another. I've gotten a lot better at laser dodging, which is helping a lot. Unfortunately, the missiles are now the thing that are killing me. They just do too much damage. I should have probably upgraded and healed in time, but like I said, if you're walking in the wrong direction when those missiles start flying out, you're kind of hosed. And if I could jump more often, it wouldn't be too bad. I guess I could have jumped in a direction for that second. Oh, maybe that's it. Try my best to dodge the first set of missiles, and if I fail, I can jump through the second set, more or less without any consequence. I'm gonna call it here, actually, one more run. I looked at the clock. I have to stop by, like, no matter what, I have to stop by 2:30. Day 349. There's a rhythm in the Zyrex attacks. We had to use the last mini-sphere to strengthen the outpost. The search for the Ark is delayed. Oh, right. I'm not actually in my tank thing. But I know that if I actually beat him, this run is going to go on for like an extra hour. Yeah, directional dodges for the missiles. Standing laser. I guess if I use a directional dodge to dodge only away from him, the iframes on the missiles might save me regardless. Okay, let's just take a bunch of these back. Yeah, we're about to get a Zyrex attack. Really wish it was easier to avoid sucking this thing up. Or if I could continue to suck other resources while holding the damn thing. You know, strap it to my back. And keep vacuuming. Make my life easier. It's fine. But if the run goes... if I manage to beat the boss, finally, and the run goes too long, then all I have to do is just go fight the boss again. Because he blocks, as far as I know, every single cloud wall. Let's hope we get the bouncing machine gun, because that's going to save us a lot of time and energy. And funds. You know what's also going to save us some effort and energy? This lad. I don't think I'm going to give him as much leeway, but if we just leave this singular guy alive for the next 3 waves, that's actually going to weaken all future waves. Because they're not time-based. It's just like wave 1 is this, wave 2 is that, wave 3 is the next thing. And so if I straight up, like, leave this guy for pretty much an entire wave timer, we won't have nearly as much to worry about. Let's see, overdrive. I haven't seen much of the DLC. Is it just refights and new DLC areas? I mean, yeah, it's just more of the same. Now, the one thing we could do is actually just sprint all the way to the top, because these lads are kind of slow. I could do that. No, they're not that slow. Okay. Got what I need. I think I can at least do one more load of whatever it is. But yeah, it is more of the same. Personally, I'm enjoying it a lot, but it is more wall world, so if you had bounced off the original, it's probably not worth it. I will also say it's not worth it at the moment, because it has some serious balance issues. I give it like a couple of days, heck, probably even by tomorrow, and the game will be in a much better state. Alright, now it's starting to hit me. That is unacceptable. Like, I think the white spider is beatable, but you have to be very good at dodging. Take whatever you want, but please get back to wherever you came from. Okay, let's see if we can find a couple of things. I mean, that's a good starting boon. It's always the umbrella. The one beef. Okay. Grab that. Don't have enough for more. I want to grab a couple of these things. Even if I'm having some trouble punching through this rock with my current upgrade set, the seismic generator will do it reasonably well for me. And so I might as well stick it out here, at least until we run out of generator territory. Okay. Anything else? Nope. Let's just take this singular load back, I think. And then revisit the cave after I've got a little bit more. Yeah, the umbrella would be good for wave stalling. I just think the umbrella would probably run out beforehand. I guess I could build it. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. Because if I could build a singular umbrella over the yellow cave specifically, or just whatever cave I guess I'm on. I might be able to do, a little bit of something. Okay. Unfortunately, we get the Hoppy Lads. Never mind, he dead. I know the melee guys are a little bit more dangerous. Oh, there it is. Let's see, do we build one? Yeah, they're cheap. I don't think this is a small cave, so I've got some time now. That's a good point. Thanks for suggesting that. Because yeah, now we can clear this out, and this is probably going to be the one with the weapon in it. And I know it's big. Yep, there's the weapon. Okay. Hey, Locust machine gun. Perfect. Character's miner helmet makes him look a lot like Isaac Clarke. I am 100% sure that's an intentional reference. Now, I mean, this game's chock full of a lot of those, and so why not? Because those will just go there. Okay, so the umbrella is down for the count. But honestly, that's fine. Okay, Locust machine gun. Yeah, I've got enough. I'm gonna go for the durability and size. Sadly, the extra durability does not make it recover. If only it did, but we should be able to clear out this entire cave before we sustain any real, major, meaningful damage. I think it'll hit me like 1 or 2 times. Okay, break a generator. There we go. Where is the random occurrence with you appearing in the base game? I have no idea. I've only encountered myself once, and considering a regular playthrough of this game isn't that long, you might only ever see me like once. Or not. You might never see me. I don't know. I'm a little sad. I almost kind of wish the tech chips had character references in them, because then you'd actually see them a lot. It actually would have been kind of cool if the tech chips were the references, and each one has, like, weird abilities. Like, the Wanderbot one makes your spider mech a little faster. Hey, extra shockwave reactor size. I like that one. I like that one a lot. If we can live long enough to actually make use of it. I think I've got enough time to get everything here. We should probably go for this stuff in the back first. So I think we have enough space. Okay, snag all that. Fire rate up, damage down. Maybe. Am I ready for that, though? Am I? Yeah. I suppose I am. I didn't skip any major caves, right? It was just the one golden cave that I didn't feel like clearing. We were just gone through this much, much faster. But yeah, it's kind of undeniable that the bounce gun is absurdly powerful compared to my regular weapon. Yeah, let's go. Turn your mining junk around, Outer. Your place is below. You shouldn't have called my spider junk. I think it's time for me to stop reading those. Shot my missile from that far away? Rude. Okay. So he does the laser. Then he's gonna dodge. That always hits me. Okay, then he's gonna do shields. I wonder if he alternates these, actually. That's an interesting question. He might? Okay. I think I'm understanding. Just glad he didn't try to laser me from off screen. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. Okay, it didn't kill me. Expensive, though. Ouch. Ouch. Guess I have to wait on that one. Okay, I still have enough for a couple of... couple of heals. I can take those clips. All right. I think maybe the other answer is just get very far away from him and I can do the up and down jumps. Okay, then he's gonna flip. There we go. I'm just gonna stop talking. Yeah. I think I'm gonna come back tomorrow. That was about as good as I was going to pull off. Maybe, like, I could have had the emergency repair kit. Maybe that would help me. But, like, I was hitting him for a while, and he didn't go down. Now, there's a lot of explanations. He could have actually been almost dead. Who knows? But my general assumption is if I come back to this game either tomorrow or Saturday, it's going to be so much easier, and I'll actually be able to play as normal. But right now, it just needs a tune down. I don't know if normal difficulty got turned into hard or impossible by accident. I don't know if they just accidentally raised the numbers too much. I don't know if this is actually where they want it to be. This could be intentional. This could be like where the game's supposed to be, at which point I'm kind of in trouble because, like, there is almost no margin for error. I got really good at dodging the laser. I'm really solid on that one. But the fact that the missiles are... it's so hard to dodge the missiles cleanly, considering how small the arena is. Yeah, without damage feedback, it doesn't really matter if he was at 1% HP or 80. At least if I knew he was at, like, 1 to 10% HP, I'd know, like, one more round like that where I do well, and then I'll have no problems. Or, like, one more round like that where I do even better, and then I can reliably start beating it. There's some rumors initially because they might have not have finished later biomes. I know they have the second one completely done. I've been there. I've seen it. It was there yesterday. It was just too easy. I don't know about the third one, but, like, I'd be fine with them making the third biome not accessible. My problem is right now, I can't get anything. Whatever this resource is, seems to have dried up in the first tier. Same thing with new blueprints. And so I can't do any meaningful progression. Sure, I can buy the emergency repair kit and the devastator, but those are the only two that I can afford at this point. We've bought literally everything else and we are finding no more blueprints to get more upgrades. And that sucks a little bit because I really like to get a level 5 seismic generator, and I really like to get another level of, like, maybe the torpedo drilling thing. Actually, the induction amplifier as well. Because if I could get this area of effect to be like 35 or something, that'd be great. Alas, for now at least, I'll come back to this in a day or two once there's been an update. Or if any of you guys are playing this as reasonably avidly as I will and do, and the game gets to be in a much better state, let me know. Because I'd love to play more of this, but I don't want to suffer just for the sake of playing more Wall World. I'd rather play Wall World and have a good time with it. So, I guess with that, have a lovely rest of your afternoon, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Keep an eye on Discord or on YouTube for announcements for the next stream, as I will have it pre-scheduled here and announced on Discord. For now, goodbye, everyone.